Hey everyone, and welcome back to Learn English Podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Jack. Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Before we dive into today's topic, if you're enjoying our podcast, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and make sure you never miss an episode.
Absolutely. And today we're going to talk about something that's really fundamental to communication in English, the word feelings, and how to use it in everyday conversations.
This is such an important topic because talking about feelings is something we do constantly, whether we're chatting with friends, having discussions at work, or even just making small talk.
Right. And the interesting thing is that feelings is one of those words that seems simple on the surface, but there's actually a lot of nuance to how native speakers use it in different contexts.
So let's start with the basics. The word feelings is the plural form of feeling, and it generally refers to emotions or physical sensations. When we talk about our feelings, we're usually discussing our emotional state.
Exactly. For example, you might say, I have mixed feelings about moving to a new city. This means you're experiencing different emotions at the same time, maybe excitement and nervousness together.
That's a great example. And one of the most common phrases you'll hear is, how are you feeling? This is a question asking about someone's emotional or physical state.
Yes, and it's important to note that this is slightly different from how are you? While how are you is often just a greeting that doesn't require a detailed answer, how are you feeling usually suggests that the person genuinely wants to know about your emotional or physical condition.
That's such a good point. If someone asks, how are you feeling, they might be concerned about you, or they might have noticed that you seem upset or unwell.
Right. So you might respond with something like, I'm feeling a bit down today, or I'm feeling much better, thanks for asking.
Another really common expression is hurt someone's feelings. This means to upset or offend someone emotionally. For instance, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings with that comment.
This phrase is so useful because it allows us to acknowledge when we've upset someone, even if it wasn't intentional. It shows empathy and awareness of the other person's emotional state.
Absolutely. And related to this, we often use the phrase spare someone's feelings, which means to avoid saying something that might upset them.
For example, she didn't tell him the whole truth because she wanted to spare his feelings. In this case, the person is holding back information to avoid causing emotional pain.
Now let's talk about have a feeling. This is a phrase we use when we have an intuition or suspicion about something.
Right, like, I have a feeling it's going to rain today, or I have a bad feeling about this situation. It's not based on concrete evidence, but more on your instinct or gut reaction.
And we can make this even stronger by saying, I have a strong feeling, or I have a sneaking feeling, which suggests you suspect something might be true even though you don't have proof.
Another expression you'll hear all the time is no hard feelings. This is what you say when you want to make sure that there's no resentment or anger between you and someone else after a disagreement or competitive situation.
For example, after a sports game, you might shake hands with the opposing team and say, no hard feelings, right? It was a great game.
This shows that you're not holding any grudges. Exactly. It's a way of maintaining positive relationships even after conflicts or competition.
Let's talk about catch feelings. This is a more informal, contemporary expression that means to develop romantic feelings for someone, usually when you weren't planning to.
Yes, you might hear someone say, I wasn't looking for a relationship, but I'm starting to catch feelings for them. It often implies that these romantic emotions are unexpected or potentially unwanted.
This is definitely more casual language that you'd use with friends rather than in professional settings.
Now, there's also the expression with feeling, which is often used in the context of performance or expression. It means to do something with emotion or passion.
Right, like a music teacher might tell a student, play this piece with feeling, meaning they should put emotion into their performance, not just play the notes mechanically.
And we can use feelings to talk about opinions, too. The phrase, my feelings on this are, is a softer way to express your opinion about something.
Yes, instead of saying, I think, you might say, my feelings on this matter are that we should wait before making a decision. It sounds less harsh and more personal.
That's a great observation. It acknowledges that your perspective is subjective and emotional rather than purely logical.
Another common phrase is feelings are running high, which means that people are experiencing strong emotions about a situation, often in a group context.
You might hear this in news reports or discussions about controversial topics. For example, feelings are running high in the community after the recent announcement. This suggests that people are very emotional and that tensions might be elevated.
Let's not forget about bottle up your feelings. This means to suppress or hide your emotions rather than expressing them.
For instance, he tends to bottle up his feelings instead of talking about what's bothering him. This is generally considered unhealthy because unexpressed emotions can build up over time.
Exactly. Mental health professionals often encourage people to express their feelings in healthy ways rather than bottling them up.
On the flip side, we have wear your heart on your sleeve, which means to show your feelings openly and honestly.
Someone who wears their heart on their sleeve doesn't hide their emotions. You can easily tell when they're happy, sad, angry, or excited.
That's true. This can be both a strength and a vulnerability. While it shows authenticity, it can also make someone more susceptible to being hurt.
That's true. Now, what about get a feeling for something? This means to develop an understanding or familiarity with something.
Right. Like, after a few weeks in the new job, I'm starting to get a feeling for how things work here. It suggests you're becoming more comfortable and knowledgeable.
Another useful expression is I know the feeling. This is what you say when someone describes an experience or emotion that you've also had.
It's a way of showing empathy and connection. For example, if someone says, "I'm so nervous about the presentation," you might respond, "I know the feeling. I was terrified before my first one too."
This simple phrase can be really comforting because it shows the other person they're not alone in their experience.
Let's talk about feelings are mutual. This means that two people share the same emotion or opinion about something.
For instance, if someone says, I really enjoyed working with you, you might reply, the feeling is mutual. It's a concise way of saying that you feel the same way.
We should also mention gut feeling or gut instinct. This refers to an intuitive feeling about something that comes from deep within, not from logical reasoning.
People often say things like, my gut feeling tells me we should trust her, or I had a gut feeling something was wrong.
It's about trusting your instincts.
And interestingly, research has shown that gut feelings are often surprisingly accurate, especially when we have experience in a particular area.
That's fascinating. Our subconscious mind picks up on patterns and details that we might not consciously notice.
Another phrase worth knowing is hurt feelings. This is the noun form that describes the state of being emotionally upset.
You might say, there were a lot of hurt feelings after that argument, meaning that people were emotionally wounded by what was said.
Now, in more formal or professional contexts, you might hear take feelings into consideration or consider someone's feelings.
This means to think about how your actions or decisions might affect someone emotionally. For example, before making changes to the schedule, we should take everyone's feelings into consideration.
It shows respect and empathy for others in decision-making processes.
What about feelings of? This is a common construction where we specify what type of feeling we're experiencing.
Yes, like feelings of joy, feelings of anxiety, feelings of disappointment, or feelings of gratitude. It's a way to be more specific about our emotional state.
And we can combine this with intensity words too, like strong feelings of or overwhelming feelings of.
Exactly. The more specific we are about our feelings, the better others can understand our emotional experience.
Let's also discuss have feelings for someone. This is a phrase that indicates romantic or deep affectionate emotions toward another person.
Right. If someone says, I have feelings for you, they're usually confessing romantic interest. It's more subtle than saying, I love you, but more significant than just liking someone as a friend.
It's often used in the early stages of romantic relationships when people aren't quite ready to use the word love yet.
Another important phrase is validate someone's feelings. This means to acknowledge and accept someone's emotions as legitimate and understandable.
For example, if a friend is upset about something that might seem minor to you, validating their feelings would mean saying something like, I can see why that would bother you, rather than dismissing their emotions.
This is such an important skill in relationships and communication. People need to feel heard and understood.
Absolutely. Invalidating someone's feelings by saying things like, "you're overreacting," or "that's not a big deal," can be really damaging to relationships.
So remember, when someone shares their feelings with you, try to validate them even if you don't fully understand or agree.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today on how to use feelings in everyday English.
We really have. From expressing emotions to showing empathy, the word feelings is incredibly versatile in English.
And before we wrap up, remember to subscribe to Learn English Podcast so you don't miss our future episodes.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Take care and keep practicing your English.